the last 5 years since then, I've really learned a lot of different things of how to run like a small company into a really big company and how to keep sane. Hey guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Now my goal is at the end of this video show you guys what are my productivity tips as a work from home CEO. Now if this is your guys' first time on my channel, my name is Lacaba. I am the virtual ate. I've been working from home since I was 15 years old and now run an outsourcing in the Philippines, and I post videos every Sunday and Thursday on how to work from home and thrive working from home. So make sure to hit the subscribe button right there so you don't miss any of my videos. Now my CEO journey was an interesting one. I actually became CEO when I was 19, a week before my birthday, because we kind of made it that way. But in the last 5 years since then, I've really learned a lot of different things of how to run like a small company into a really big company and how to keep sane. One of the biggest things I had to really make sure to do was that I would not overwork. I would not work like 80 hours a week unless I really needed to. And if you're someone who's getting started working from home, a lot of the tips that I'm going to share with you guys, you're going to be skipping a lot of the mistakes that I did myself when I was just starting out. Now make sure to watch the end of this video for a bonus tip on how I survive my week of getting so many emails and so many to-dos every single week. Now the first thing that I really recommend that you guys do is to record your time and your tasks. Now what I mean by this is look at over your week. So let's say you're watching this on Sundays, because I post every Sunday. Try to notice throughout the week as you work, as you do different things, how long does each task actually take for you to finish. Now a lot of the time you have assumptions of like, yeah, I can create that graphic for like 5 minutes a day, so or I can finish writing the article in 30 minutes, but you don't actually know until you actually write it down and record. Now you can use a lot of different apps. I just recommend using the stopwatch on your phone. You don't really need to download anything fancy, but the point of it is to start recording how long does the tasks that you do every week make, especially if it's tasks that's recurring or tasks that always happen either every day or every week. The reason why you want to do this is you want to really make sure that you are aware of how you spend your time. I have seen it happen over and over again where people say, oh, I don't know like time management skills. I don't know how to be productive. I don't know how to do this. I'm always overwhelmed. But the thing is, they haven't taken the time to actually pause and see what they're actually doing and how long it's actually going to take them. So by doing this exercise, by noticing, you could put it in a notebook, you could put it on your laptop, just how long each task takes you, you're able to actually really see how long different tasks take, what are the things that you kind of need to prepare for to get to that task, for example. So the purpose again of this exercise is to be more aware. The second thing that you need to do is to prepare your space. Now you guys are on my desk right now. I've set you up on my desk. You don't see kind of the mess that I've sadly gotten over the last week, which I'm going to clean up today. One of the things that stop us really from being productive is that there's just too much clutter on our desk. At max, I try to have like 6 things on my desk. I have my laptop, I have my laptop stand, which I just count as one thing. I have my mouse, I have my mouse pad, and then I have a tablet or a notebook nearby. And of course, I just have my plant right here. I don't really count as one of my things on my office, but the point of it is I really try to clean my desk as much as I can. I kind of setting myself up for success whenever I do this. So as much as you can, if you have a workspace, no matter how big or small it is, try to always clean it up at least once a day, or at the very least once every other day. Again, it's about clearing the space. So one, you don't have any distractions while you're working, which happens, especially if you have a toy or you have your PSP or you have your Nintendo Switch lying around. It's going to be so easy for you to just pick it up and start getting distracted. A cluttered desk makes a cluttered mind. So as much as possible, again, clean up your space. Have a maximum of maybe like 10 things that you really actually need to work on your desk, and start with that. Your printed paperwork might pile up, or your earphones or whatever other equipment that you use might pile up, and that will actually cause you to not want to work on your desk. And I've had those feelings multiple times where I'm like, no, I'm just gonna work in my bed because I don't have space to put my laptop. So as much as possible, again, clean up your space just to prepare yourself for the week, for the day. And again, being mindful of what you do put on your desk. The next thing you want to do to keep productive for the week is now to actually list down your tasks. Now sometimes I'll do this once a day or even just once a week. Well, I'll just write down literally everything, all of my tasks, all of the reminders that I have to do, all of the things that I have to follow up with people into a notebook. Now a tool that I use a lot is Notion, where I basically store all of my tasks and my projects, and I collaborate with different people on that. But with Notion, I'm able to create a space where I can both just list down all my tasks and then start organizing them in that way, which I'm going to go through in a little bit. Again, you just want to brain dump. You don't want to rely on your brain for memory or, oh, I'll just remember to do that later. You probably won't. So again, just write everything down. It can take you 10 minutes or 30 minutes to do this exercise, but the point of it is to make sure that you have everything on paper or at least on your desktop. Next thing you're going to do is putting all of these tasks into a matrix. Now, I totally made this up. I'm just calling this randomly the virtual anti-productivity matrix. But basically in the matrix, you want to categorize your tasks into different slots. So the first slot is basically what are the tasks that help you make money or help your client make money that is going to take the least amount of time. These are not the tasks that are going to be your priority. These are the tasks that you do first because they're going to make you the most money. Or you make your client the most money. It also takes you the least amount of time to do. So just do it, get it done. The second column is actually more the tasks that will take you more time to do, but also same thing, makes you or your client or your boss a lot of money. So these are now your focus time tasks. So these are the things that'll take 30 minutes to 60 minutes, sometimes even more to do. And you want to make sure that you block out that time that you know, again, because you did notice from the last week how long things take you. You know how to schedule this to make sure that you actually really get this done. The next task right below that, these are the tasks that make you some money and takes a lot of time. Now, what you want to do with this column is to try to create a system towards doing it. So what I mean by system is basically making sure that you have a written down document of how to do this step by step, because then you'll be able to see, again, awareness, why it's actually taking you so long. Are there any steps that you can take out? Are there any steps that you can improve? Is there a tool out there that'll make this so much easier? Because it's making some money and it's taking you a lot of time. So you want to see, why is this taking me a lot of time? At this point, I'm just trusting that everything in your task or to-do list are things that are necessary in the business or in the work that you have. So you just, again, you want to look at that of like, okay, why is this taking me so much time? And most importantly, can I give this to someone? Can I delegate this to someone else for them to be able to do? So for example, for me, one of the tasks that took me so much time but also helped make me some money at that time was my editing. It took me like 6 to 8 hours a week just editing my videos, and now I've luckily been able to give that to my video editor. So try to see that task, that box right there, any tasks that you put in there. Is there some way that I can make this faster, or can I give this to someone else? And now the last column is basically the tasks that take the least number of time and also makes the least number of money. You want to reassess this. Why is this task even here? Is this a task that's necessary? Is this a task that might support a task in one of the other columns? So again, you want to see and look at that and actually think to yourself, do I actually need to do this? Afterwards, after you've put everything in that matrix, the next thing that you want to do now, once you have that matrix, is now categorizing your tasks into a theme or some sort of central project. Once you've put your task into that matrix, you're going to make smaller matrices, which is basically you're categorizing your tasks with a theme. So for example, for me, it's going to be categorizing your tasks into a theme or a project. So for example, for me, I have multiple projects always running every time. It could be getting to 100,000 subscribers here, or it could be making sure that every client that we have is happy with us, or it could be a project of taking care and growing a person's skill inside of my company. So those are projects for me. So I try to categorize all of those tasks I have and put them into one column or one tag maybe, so that I understand when I'm working on it, I can just be in flow. Because the next thing that you're going to do after you do that, after you categorize all of your tasks, it could be that you're categorizing them by subject. Like you're going to school, you're categorizing like, oh, I have to do this project, or I have to prepare for this test for this one subject. Or you could be categorizing your tasks per an actual project that was given to you, or it could be even per client that you're working with if you're working with multiple clients. After you've done that, the next thing that you're doing is time blocking. Now, time blocking, you guys have probably heard me say it in a couple of videos, especially one with habits and how to balance school and work. But basically, time blocking is a process where you actually block out time in your calendar of when you want to do certain tasks. Because now you have the how long things or tasks take you to do. You now have your matrix. You now have categorized them. The next step is now actually putting it into action, putting it in your calendar. So then you want to take your calendar for the week. It could be using Google Sheets. It could be using your actual Google Calendar. But you want to block out, okay, for the first half of Monday, I'm just going to work on this project. The reason why you want to do this is you're not switching between back and forth between different projects. The reason why you want to make sure that you actually follow through it is then in your head you are on track. You're not again switching from one thing to another. Imagine if you had 3 clients. Let's say client A, you were mostly doing graphic work. Client B, you're mostly writing captions for them. And client C, you're kind of doing both. So if that's the case, you want to make sure that you finish client A, client B before you get to client C, or else you're always switching from their different niches also. That's another thing that hurts you if you're trying to do multitasking. So again, try to put everything in your week. Plan out your week. Okay, these are the things that I'm going to focus on this day and during these times, because then it's going to be so much easier for you to not have to decide, to not have to pick what to do next, because you've already picked it out for yourself. Once you have that, the next thing that I do for myself to keep myself productive is now doing a little bit of a Pomodoro technique when doing my actual tasks. Now, if you've never heard what Pomodoro is, it's basically setting some sort of time, usually 25 minutes to work and then 5 minutes rest. You can change this up depending again on how long some tasks take you. If you have a task that takes you 1 hour, you might want to break it up to 30-minute breaks. But the point of the Pomodoro technique is you're actually just sitting down. You have to pee beforehand, you have to prepare yourself beforehand, you can't get up. But the point of it is to actually really sit down, get it done before you move into the next thing. You're not opening 5 different tabs, you're not opening 10 different tabs, you're just focusing on this one thing so you can really get it done. You get it? So for example, for me, since I do have a lot of projects, I have the tendency to keep flicking back and forth between them. So with the Pomodoro technique, I'm really forced to like, no, this is the only tasks that I can do. There's a ton of Pomodoro Chrome extensions that you guys can download, and I link some of the favorite ones that I know below. But what those extensions do is that they do set the timer already, and they will block anything else. And of course, you're going to be the one to choose what they block. But for example, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, you want to make sure that you don't open them while you're on focus mode. So I really recommend that you guys have those extensions on hand, or like for me, again, I just set a timer off of my Chrome or on my phone. So you don't have to do this. Find your own way to do it. But that's what doing the Pomodoro technique means. The next thing that you want to do is celebrate. After you finish task, make sure to give yourself a pat in the back, make sure to drink some water, stay hydrated, make sure to do a good stretch, make sure to go ahead and pee if you really need to pee. But the point of celebrate is actually really taking a break and making sure that you are not overworking yourself, that you're checking on yourself like, hey, how are you after this task? Do you need to take a walk? Do you need to look around? Do you need a hug from someone else? That's why the next step is really to celebrate and take a break. It doesn't have to be every after you do a task you take a break or you celebrate, but the point of it is to keep in mind that you want to do that. So you're building this really strong narrative in your head of that you're someone who gets things done. And that is the whole point of this, is to really slowly build that habit, that mindset that you're someone who gets things done. The next thing then that you want to do is at the end of the day is plan out for the next day. Look at the tasks that you weren't able to do, the tasks that were maybe pending, or you're waiting on someone else to finish it and you're just someone who follows up. Make sure to look at them and maybe run them again through the matrix. Try to see and verify with yourself, like, why didn't this get done? Is this something because of me or something else outside of my environment? Try to again make that assessment with the task. I like to always try to end my day by making sure that my next day is already set up for me, because then I'm just going to work. I'm just going to get started. I don't have to like, oh no, what do I do first? What do I do next? It's already laid out for me. Now, since you guys are still here, I have a bonus tip on the main thing that really keeps me productive all week long, and it's having a capture habit. Now, a capture habit basically means I don't rely on my brain to remember things for me. I actually write it down. Now, a capture is making sure that you have some sort of system, some sort of way to capture any ideas or tasks that come your way every day, because there's going to be ideas. For me, for example, I have ideas on how to create this YouTube video, or have this idea to do this task to make everything else faster. So I have a way that I can capture all of those. So it could be that you're using Post-its, and if you guys watched my video on how to set your 2021 goals, you guys will see I have a ton of Post-its. It could be having just a notepad ready. It could be having a sticky note on your desktop that's ready to just receive any information. It could also just be a notebook that you have. Again, you want to keep it simple for yourself, but the point of the capture system is that you don't lose any information, especially the more important information. So if you're having a meeting, for example, or someone just tapped you to do a quick task, just to make sure that those don't slip through the cracks, you're writing them down, you're capturing them, you're putting them in one place where you can look at it later and then put it into your task system. Now, if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure, of course, to hit that thumbs up button and comment below any productivity tips that you might have to share it with the world. And if you still haven't, make sure to hit subscribe button right there so you don't miss any of my videos every Sunday and Thursday on how to work from home. And make sure to check out these other 2 videos right here for more tips on how to advance in your online career. Now, I hope you guys have an awesome day, and remember that small steps matters. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye!